My circle is right size, but I'm old enough to know that every woman that's in my life, they have a special purpose in my life.
Say how's the fam?
Alpha.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to How's the Fam, where we help you love your long-term relationships. Today, I am joined by one of the a pillar of my own community, the person who has taught me to be as good with the youth as I am, Miss Denza Boyd. Everybody, Denza,
Hello, hey.
how's it going,
What's
man?
going on?
I'm glad you're able
I'm
to join us.
tired.
I'm glad you're able to come out from your busy schedule and spend a little bit of time with me and the family. Everybody's going to be so blessed because of.
Well, thank you for thinking of me.
You was up high on the list. That's what you sleeping on. I was like, man,
Well,
I gotta
I
start
appreciate
contacting
it.
people. Yeah, 100%. Um, we like to start the episode out with a segment I call Just Checking In. Just checking in is exactly what it sounds like. You got to check in with the family. Now, Denza, this is your first time here. Do you want me to take the Just Checking In story, or do you want to have it?
You either or, it doesn't matter.
I'll rock it. I'll rock it. And I'll let you think of something. All right. So, all right. Today I went to the dentist and they hit me with all the questions. They was like, "Oh, you got a beautiful smile," which I do. And they was like, "Oh, you got pretty teeth." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then they hit you with the question, "Have you been flossing?" I was like, "Huh?" And you know what's funny? It's hard to lie to somebody who got these super sharp objects just right at your mouth. And you know they know. But here's the thing: I have
Right.
been flossing, but I've been using the little pick things, the joints where you can like pick at your teeth, and they got the little
Mm-hmm.
itty bitty floss. And it was like, Mr. Brown, you can't use those. I was like, why not? It gets wing stuff out of my teeth, all the good stuff. And they
Yeah,
was
why
like,
not?
yeah, they say because it's straight, and it's so straight that you can't get into the edges that you need to. And like I
The
have one
lies they
problem
tell.
area. Yeah, I got one problem area. Like it's this one up here. It's up here. They're like, if you don't take care of it, it's gonna become a cavity, and we're gonna put gold caps on it. And I was just like, look here, I'm cool with gold caps. I can't have gold caps at
In the
like
front.
yeah, I can't do it. And so I've been doctoring it myself, and she was like, if you don't start using regular floss, it's like she gonna gold cap me up. So I'm like, yo, I gotta go back to the regular floss. Gotta take care of myself. But I'm glad all things considered, no cavities. It was a good dentist appointment. Now, Benza,
Right on.
what's your just checking in story, man? What you got for the family?
Oh man, today has been games after games. Got off work and went to basketball games and dropping off to practice and the norm.
That's
So
wild.
yeah, I got to watch Aiden play his first middle school game and Jimmy coach his first
Oh,
basketball game for the school.
dang.
So that was
You
exciting.
you were able to make it to both?
Um, Aiden plays for Jimmy.
Yeah, I know, but he plays football, right?
Yeah, but he had a basketball game today.
Oh, okay. I was like, there was a football game and a basketball. I got you, because football season pretty much over. All right, got it.
Yeah,
Well, that's what's up, man. Did they win?
no, no. I think it's the first game jitters or something like that. But no, they didn't win today.
Yeah, man.
So
My coach always said he doesn't care as long as we win all the district games in the championship. So you only got to win 7 games to be a champion. Just win the ones that count.
yeah,
And that has been just checking in. So we're about to move into the main event, but before we do, I have one sponsor, and that is Pray, Plan, Execute. So Pray, Plan, Execute is a faith-based Christian apparel brand. I actually have on one of their shirts from the fall collection right here. It says God's Son. They do have a daughter's God's daughter. Is that what the shirt is, Keisha? God's daughter. They do have a God's daughter shirt as well, and then they also have apparel that just says "Pray, Plan, Execute." This apparel, the brand was founded off the simple concept of you need to pray that God gives you that plan, and then once He gives you that plan, you have to execute it to the best of your ability. Only through doing that can we make the kingdom that much better. Only through doing that can we find our purpose and find fulfillment. Okay, now I've talked to them. They gave me a code that we could use. So if you would like to use my code, if you would like to be part of the Pray Plan Execute family, go to prayplanexecute.shop and use code FAM at checkout. Again, go to prayplanexecute.shop and use the code FAM, FAM at checkout for a discount. And you know I got you. So go ahead and hit that link. Y'all, Pray Plan Execute is more than a brand, it's a lifestyle. Now, Denzel, I'm ready
What's
to
up?
hear your story. I really want you to start at the mentoring the youth part because I used to be up in them classrooms, and I don't know how many people dealt with this, but you know, when you had a substitute teacher, or if you got that one teacher who's kind of like frail and like kind of soft spoken and stuff like that, and then the coach used to come in, like, hey, now I know y'all not acting up in this class. Now, Miss over there, and she over there working hard, and y'all over here acting ignorant. I was the frail teacher,
was
and
was I
and
the coach?
Denzel was the coach. You hear me? Denzel was the coach. I used to be like, hey guys, you guys got to be quiet. Let's Denzel, dude. But I appreciate you for doing that because through you doing that, I was like, yo man, I gotta get these kids under control.
Yeah,
I'm
they
gonna have
used
a
to give you
bad
the
time,
business.
man. Oh man. But just tell me like where does that come from? Like what in your past or what where does that come from? How do you have that in you so where you can just literally just talk to them kids any kind of way and they know Miss ben, Miss Boyd mean the business.
Well, at first I'm a mom,
Okay.
but I think I got that from watching my grandmothers, because both of my grandmothers have been um, the women in the family that everybody goes to. All
Yeah.
the favorite aunties, the favorite, they're the one, and so
Mm.
and they're who raised me. So I think that's where I get that from. But I think just because I got my start with Miss Barbara asking me to do VBS one day, and I
I did
was
not know
like,
that's how you got introduced into the youth.
"Yep,
I did not know that.
yep."
That's
She
what's
asked
up.
me to do VBS, and I was like, "Miss Barbara, I don't really like kids like that."
I like my kids, but they kids.
Look, and and that's what she said. She said, "But you have kids," and I was like, "I don't really like them neither." But and so she,
But the government say I can't give them back.
yeah. So that's
Ah,
how I got my start, and I started teaching the kinder babies, and I fell in love with it.
and you are
Fell in love
incredible.
with
Like I hear them call you mama every once in a while. I'm like, yo, okay.
it.
I'm like, look at that. You're over there making connections. That's what's up. And so, what does it feel like to be a pillar in so many different areas of like kids' lives? Because keep in mind, for those of you who do not know Denzel, she is like the quintessential. What do you call it? I wouldn't say room mom, but she's definitely like the mom of moms. Like you're at the soccer, well, not soccer games. You're at the basketball games. You're at the football games. You're at the church. You're at house. Like how does it feel to be at all places at all times? Or what it feels like
uh,
at all places at all times.
I don't know how it feels. Because I just get up and do it.
Mm.
If that makes any sense, like, and I don't think of myself as a pillar or you know, I just get up and do, and I see where there's a need, and I feel like I sometimes I just step in, and I
So
try
you
not to overstep my boundaries. But
so you don't feel like a pill. So what happens when you get sick?
I mean, I still have to function.
So
I
you
still
don't
have to
feel like you
function.
still have to function, but you don't feel like a pillar. That's so.
Oh,
It amazes me the resilience that people have. Cause Keisha over here going all this other stuff. Cause she over here sick.
yeah, you still have to function now, and I must say, Jimmy, he helps, and the girls they're old enough to help now, but I mean, you still have to keep going. Still got to go to work. Still got to get kids to where they need to be, and
Mm.
you know,
I
so.
have nothing but respect for y'all. Nothing but
Well,
respect.
thank you.
So, how do you feel about having to share how do you think your kids feel about having to share their mom with so many different people?
At this point, they're used to it. They're used to it because I
Mm.
remember I used to tell Peaches all the time because she's a brand. All her friends used to come over, and 9 times out of 10, all of their friends call me mama. So, they're used to it. So when they know their friends are in trouble or they need help, they bring them to me. So
Mm.
I don't think they feel some kind of way about it. I think they actually enjoy it.
That's what's up. I ain't gonna lie, man. My dad was my coach. He taught me how to play soccer initially, and I used to feel some type of way about it. Like not initially, but
Really?
this I was like, oh, this is cool. But like I remember distinctly like one or two times where I was just like, it's not fair. And thinking like, yo, this isn't what I signed up for. Like this is my dad. But
Right.
also like my dad was like the community type of guy. Like he was like, I have to. My dad had this philosophy of if I don't put my kids in a gang, they will find a gang. And so if I can control
And
what
it,
gang they're gonna be in, then they'll
right.
they'll be better off. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Now,
I agree.
do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because I'm one of those moms. I don't let my kids spend the night out. So if they spend the night out, it has to be with family or not even family sometimes, but somebody that I trust with my life,
Mm.
and because I believe that when you go to somebody else's house, you don't know what's going on. Your friends are welcome to come over.
They
We can
can
have,
come here.
they can come
Yeah.
over here, but yeah, it's too many things going on in the world. And with as far as our kids are concerned, you know, you have to teach them to have compassion for other people because not everybody is is being raised the way they are being raised.
Mm. I
Everybody's
agree.
not going to have the same um, privileges that they have. And most of these kids that come over or that they don't have, um, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have the background that our kids have or the
Hmm.
necessities, and all they want to do is be loved on. And that's all I mean, because I'm not rich, and all I can give you is love.
Yeah. That's
You know.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Um. Whew, that kind of gave me a little. That gave me chills a little bit. So, hey, Denza, you have seen every part of parenting. This is kind of where we left off. Like you've seen the co-parenting. You've been a single mother. You're in the blended family currently. So I wanted you to walk us through what it looks like to be in each one of those states, some of the skills you need to be successful in those states, and then maybe the community that kind of helps you when you're in each one.
um, well, the co-parenting, um, I don't too much remember much because it was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Um, when the before the girl's dad passed.
Mm.
Um, so when he passed, that was 2006,
Oh
and
wow.
so yeah, and so I've been a single parent since I was 23,
Okay.
and um, it's my village, my village. Back home in South Carolina was my grandparents, my church family, my spiritual parents, um, who helped me out a great deal because I was a young mother,
Hmm.
learning myself, learning how to be a mom, and grieving all at the same time.
Ooh.
You know, and when I moved here, just our church family. There's no other church family like RFBC. Like I
I
can
agree.
tell you, they have helped me. When Aiden started, he was maybe in kindergarten, I think, kinder or first
Hmm.
grade, and he tried to get in trouble a couple of times. Like if it wasn't for pastor, you
He
know,
said tried to get in trouble. I was like,
try.
boy, I got eyes everywhere. You didn't think I saw that? Oh
So
man.
they helpful, down to the sister friend and just being a help. And you need people that'll hold you accountable and say, hey, that's not what it is. You need to rethink that,
Yeah.
to give you the advice that you need, not the advice that you want to hear.
And
So
that's tough. That's tough. Some people say that's what they want and then they get it and then They
They don't
reaction
want.
ain't yeah. Yeah.
They
They
don't want.
reaction
You
yeah.
it makes you take a hard look at yourself. And then you have to reassess and come back at it. You know, and then the blended family. It was hard at first,
Really?
extremely hard.
What was so
Yeah,
difficult about it?
we have two different parenting styles. He's the more laid back and um, let me
What?
talk to you. Yeah,
I never knew. I
yeah.
never knew.
And I'm the okay. Go and get the bill. You know.
Now that part I knew. Got
And
you.
so his the littles they were smaller, and so and then my crew they were older, and so the parenting of teenagers is a whole lot different than the parenting of toddlers.
Yeah.
And so that took some time, and then of course we were learning each other. So we had to learn each other, and what I had to do was um, in order to get everything to align straight, I had to fully submit to God. Like I thought I was submitting
Oh.
to God,
Mhm.
but I had to submit to God and say, "All right, God, it's not my way, not my will. It's your will be done," and allow things to fall in place like that.
Okay.
And that too was in help of our church family, our small group. You know,
Yeah. And your small
it,
group, man. Yeah. Y'all small group was the one to be in. Cause y'all
yes,
learned like y'all went through life together.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it was tough. It was tough, and I'll tell you about it. Our first 2 years as a blended family,
Mhm.
it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was, but we've learned a lot. We've grown a lot, and when things start to change up top, and it just trickles down to the kids, and you just start seeing a change all the way around.
That's incredible. So
Hmm.
you already touched on it. Like you already said like one or two things on like what helped you guys kind of bridge that gap. But were there any other tips that you have for people who are trying to bridge that gap in terms of like the not co-parenting, the blended family situation?
Communication. Communication is key.
Okay.
Um, and you have to sit back and listen. Communication, the most important part of communication is the listening part.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. It's
And so
a
what we
two-way
learned,
street.
and what we had to learn to do is, you listen and then you repeat back to that person, okay, this is what I heard you say.
Hmm.
And then that in turn allows them to say, no, this is what I meant, you know. And that helps open the door to some healthy communication.
Nice,
Hmm.
nice. And do y'all ever like slip back into your old ways every once in a while?
Yeah,
But you
most
just count it
definitely.
all grace.
You know, once you get in a certain age, you set in your ways. And so as far
Yeah,
as me, I was a single parent for a long time, you know, and I was set in my ways. And Jimmy's older, so he's set in his ways. You know, we had to give a lot of grace,
yeah.
a lot of grace. So it's been a journey, and it just keeps getting better.
I would say from the outside looking in, you guys have done some incredible stuff, man. Like y'all have legendary family game nights. 'Cause I still
Yeah,
remember seeing them big old Uno cards. I was like, I want big Uno cards. And
yeah.
yeah, you guys are definitely doing something right.
And
Like,
time is important. As much as we do sports, we always find time for each other.
yeah,
Family is important. because family's all we have. If we don't have nobody else, we have each other.
So I meant to ask this a little earlier, but how do y'all find time for like date nights and like how do you find time for like just yourself and things of that nature?
Um, Myself is a hit and miss. You
Mm,
know, maybe about once a month I go get my nails done by myself, and it's just a couple of hours, but it just kind of gives me time to unwind. Not hear mommy or, hey, can you do
ooh,
this for me? You know,
I know the
it's,
feeling, man. Daddy, can you do this? The TV
yeah,
ain't doing. Oh man. Hey Tyler, can you? It's like, man. So just like an
right.
hour of just none of that. Whew. But what about date night?
Date nights, we try to get one in at least once a month.
Once a
At
month.
least once a month. Yeah, that's the goal, and that's just because like I said, sports. We ripping and running every day of the week. Every day of the week, we're ripping and running, and not just with our kids, but other people's kids too. If they
Hmm.
saying have a ride, or if they don't have, um, they need something, or you know that's what we're here for. And with Jimmy's AAU team, we try to go and support those girls, and just be there for other people.
I feel you on that. I was gonna say for the people who don't know you, like just run down what your schedule is. But actually, is that a good thing to do on the internet? I was like, I don't know, if that's a good thing to do.
I won't.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
but it's
say,
just
just let the people know how many practices and games do you go through in a given. You say week, Kiki. Keisha says week. How many
a
practices
week.
and games do you go to in a given week?
Um, so Aiden has okay. So Monday through Thursday, Cameron has basketball practice at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Hmm.
So we got to get her to school. Um, Come back home, get the kids ready, the rest of them ready, take them to school. I have a part-time little job that I do, um, consulting. So um, I do that. Come back home, do the other job, go pick up from school. Aiden has after-school basketball practice Monday
Hmm.
through Thursday, and after basketball practice, he has 3 days a week basketball practice after the regular school
Whew.
basketball practice. And now that he's on this Dallas Metro team, he has football practice twice a week
Wow.
after the basketball practice.
He's gonna be well rounded.
And, yeah, and Trinity has basketball practice Sunday through Thursday. He has basketball practice
Hmm.
after school. And then Fridays are normally our free days, but those are the days we probably are still in the gym, um,
Yeah.
with the kids and other kids. The kids at the school want open gym time, so we're there. And if they need picking up, we go pick them up, take them back
Hmm.
home, go get some meat, you know, things like that. And then we have tournaments Saturdays and Sundays.
As a kid, I used to love tournaments. I coached my daughter's team. They had one tournament. I was just like, man, when is this gonna end? When is this gonna end? Why do y'all keep winning? Let's lose and go home.
Yep. So
So
that's what we
many
did tonight. You
wins.
see, ball game. But yeah, so that's and try to get to church on Sunday mornings. You
Man,
know,
you say try, you be there faithfully. What you talking about, try?
I mean, I try my best.
Faithfully, you be there. I was like, I can't. I think you've been there more consistent than me. And I only take off one day, like one day a week. I mean, one day a week, one day a month.
Well, this month I've been having to keep going because we've been, because Trinity Aiden had to go to Ohio for the showcase,
I
and
saw that. I saw that.
we've been extremely busy, but thankful that we were able to do it. Because I don't know how we do it, but we've been doing it.
Find a way. You find a way. And also,
Right.
I just realized as you were naming off like all the different activities, what makes sports so time consuming for y'all is the amount of kids you guys have. So, can you say like the amount of kids you guys have?
In the house or total?
Let's start in the house and then we'll say total.
Well, in the house we have six remaining
Hmm.
and eight in total.
Yep. So six. All of them in sports, right?
Yeah. All well, Naya doesn't play anything, but her and Cameron work. They
Hmm.
work part time, and
Are they still at the same spot?
yeah.
Ooh, I need to go by. I remember. You told me that, and I was just like, yeah, I'll swing by. And I just never went because it's like it's not a place you go because they stuff kind of hot. They
Yeah.
need to
So
see if
you
they
know
can
they're
get
not
that crumble cookie. If they can get it crumble cookie, that's the move. They get on them tips. I know I'll be tipping them crumble cookie people. I'll be like, look, man, so y'all do a decent
right.
job now. So here's a little dollar. But they got
But
such
yeah. So
high volume. It's nasty.
add the dropping off of work to the mix of
Oh,
practices.
you know what's wild? My mom did a lot of that, and it wasn't until I had my own kids that I was like, I literally like this Thanksgiving, I had to tell her I was like, yo, mom, thank you, because like you didn't have to, and you did,
Hmm.
and like yeah, like her doing it did pay for my school, but like there was no guarantee that that was gonna be the case, so she literally did it just to like number one keep me out of trouble. 'Cause I was a problem kid, believe it or not. And number two, like just allow me to learn these different things. Did you watch? Have you seen the new Will Smith movie where him is the
King
father
Richard,
of Venus? Yeah, you seen that?
that's us.
That's what was coming to mind as you was telling the story. He's like, yeah, I got to wake up
Yeah.
at 6 a.m. for this practice Monday through Friday, and yeah, that's what was going through my mind. Um, let's go on to the motherhood, sisterhood, and the marriage. All right. I just wanted you to just kind of low key flex on the people a little bit. Just kind of give some words of encouragement. Well, actually, not words of encouragement. Yeah, I actually have a segment called words of encouragement. But I just wanted you to give like some insights, some personal tips and tricks that you use in your motherhood, sisterhood, and in your marriage. Is that good?
Yeah. Yeah. I can.
Yeah.
The main thing I can say, you got to stay prayerful, prayed up.
Mm,
You have to. Um, with motherhood, there's times where you just don't feel like it. Sometimes you feel worn out. Sometimes you feel unappreciated. Sometimes you feel stretched to the max, you know. But you have to remember why you're doing it and who you're doing it for,
hmm.
you know. Um, because, with motherhood, that's something you can just give up. You got,
I can
got to keep
believe
it going.
it. Gotta keep this train on the tracks.
Right, right. Some days it's hard, but you can't let the kids know that. You just got to keep moving. Um, so prayer has helped me a lot. Um, because at one time I didn't think I could do the motherhood thing.
Mm,
Going through um, domestic violence with my first marriage, and um, it was a struggle.
yeah.
But going through that, you have your sisterhood. You know, your people that you can rely on, that you can call late at night, who is going to be there, who's going to, like I said earlier, who's going to hold you accountable for what you say and what you do. You know, um, and those people aren't going to let you fall. So it's always good. I remember when I was a teenager, I used to always say, I don't need a whole bunch of friends, or I don't.
Yeah.
I, I want to keep the circle small.
Hmm.
My circle is right size, but I'm old enough to know that every woman that's in my life, they have a special purpose in my life.
Mm,
You know, so
that's good.
um, and They pray for me. And like I said, stayed enough. They hold me accountable. You know. And then as far as marriage, um,
Do
hey
you hear her?
Naomi,
You do hear her. So she is over there having the time of her life. Keisha gave her oatmeal for the first time, so she getting the sugar rush, the full stomach, so she having a good time. You
right?
talked about escaping domestic violence in your first marriage. Can you enlighten us on like what it took to finally leave, and also can you tell us like um, when you were in it, like what was your mindset like? What were you like? Is things are gonna change? Or, like, what was the tipping points where it's like, yo, I have to finally leave? So I asked those
So
questions out of order, but do you get what I'm asking?
it's
Okay.
yeah. So let's see. I got married when I was 18, fresh out of high school.
Oh, no kidding.
Um, yeah, and I had peaches,
Hmm.
and then Nye and Cameron came along, and here it is. I'm 21 with three kids under the age of 3. You know,
I can't imagine. As a person with 3 kids under 5, I can't imagine. Wow.
yeah, yeah, and it. We both were young, and it apparently it just took its toll. And um, the first time it was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. you know, and then after a while, the emotional abuse starts to take place, and then you start to. For me, it was I lost my self esteem.
Mm,
I lost my voice, and I lost who I was. Um, and I think a lot of it was because the want for him to change overpowered whatever else was going around.
mm.
Um, and it wasn't until um, he uh, he threw some keys, and it gave me a mark on my face, and
Mm.
I was embarrassed because I was like, "Oh, people gonna know now. People
Oh,
gonna
like
know."
you literally suffered in silence. Like you never told your mother, grandmother, auntie, nobody.
Nobody.
Did the kids know? Because the kids had to know, right? Or did the
They
kids
they
not know
heard.
either?
They
Uh,
don't remember so young, but I'm sure they heard. Because after he passed, I remember Peaches saying one time, I think she was like 5, and she said, "Mommy, I remember when my daddy put your head in a wall." You know,
wow.
yeah. So when you think kids aren't looking, they're looking, they're hearing. You know, um, but um, but it took that, and I had to be sick and tired. I was fed up with being fed up.
Yeah.
I took off good, and I realized that I couldn't allow my kids to see me go through that anymore, or just to, how would I feel if they grew up and went through the same thing? I couldn't allow that.
Mm,
And so it took for him. He didn't come home one night, and I didn't let him back in.
just like that.
Mhm. Yep. Again, it goes back to prayer, because I prayed, because I didn't have the strength and I was like, Lord, just give me the strength to show me that I can do this by myself, that I don't need anybody else. I can do this by myself, you know. And when I say prayer, you have to watch what you pray for, because
Yeah, I'm learning that. The older I get, I'm learning that. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, yeah, your power lies in your tongue. You have
That's good.
to to watch what you pray for, because extremely specific, down to the point, and you know maybe about 3 or 4 months after he left, he passed.
Oh,
So
Well, yeah, you said
you
when
know.
Peaches was 5, so yeah, that
Hmm.
sounds yeah, that timeline sounds about right, man. And so,
So, you know,
what are the long term effects of you dealing with that in your first marriage, or what have been the long
long
term effects of you dealing with that?
the brokenness, being broken and not knowing you're broken, and when you realize that you are broken, you've affected people that love you.
Hmm.
You know, like me being broken, it affected my kids. You know, and I raised them the best that I could by myself, but it didn't allow me um to allow anybody else in. You know, and so when Jimmy came along, I was content with being by myself. I was good. I didn't want anybody else.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Cause you say it's been a long time. Yeah, Peaches is 5, and now Peaches. I know her age. That's a little over. That is some time.
It,
Yeah,
it's, yeah, now.
yeah. That's a long time. And so, what? How were you able
Yes.
to finally? How were you able to finally accept that? Yeah, Jimmy is here for good intentions. It's like I know I trusted somebody in the past and it did not work out, but I can trust this person, and I like now. How were you able to cross that bridge?
Before we started dating, we fasted. We fasted for 3 days, and literally had to wait it for God to, you know, this is what it was for, because I promised myself I wasn't gonna put myself through the same thing. And so he came to visit our church, and I went to visit his church, and I literally heard the Holy Spirit tell me, "This is it. This is it."
Y'all moved kind of quick. Like I
Yeah.
remember him visiting, and then like the end of that year, y'all was just like, "Oh yeah, we getting married." I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, here's my bouquet." And Jimmy was like in my classroom, like getting ready with his family and stuff. I was just like, brother, what are you doing? He's like, man, I don't know how to put this thing on. They ain't showed me how to do it. I was like, man, come here. What are y'all doing? And like, yeah, I remember that. It was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I moved pretty quick, but when you know, you know. Well, yeah, they say when you know, you know. I
Yeah.
took 7 years to propose, but I was also crazy, crazy young. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you
But you
said
know, and
through prayer and fasting and just the process of you guys coming together, you knew like, yo, I can trust this person right here.
mhm. Mhm. And I don't and to be honest, I don't think I fully trusted until maybe about a year or two after we got married, just
Really?
because he'll tell you the same thing. He'll tell you the same thing just because we were learning each other. We were learning each other, and now we're to a point now where I trust him, he trusts me, and I finally had let my guard down. Like I
Yeah,
said, you have to you have to go through some things to get to the end goal.
yeah. I often say, you through the other side of like through the struggle on the other side, there's always something better, right? Typically there's something better on the other side of your struggle. Um, Denzel, this has been incredible. Thank you so much. That conversation has just been so enlightening. I have no doubt that the people who make it this far into the video will be blessed through what the stories you've already shared. Um, we have to. I like to close the podcast with a segment called just not just checking in. Keisha, what am I doing? Yeah, I got it, Keisha. I like to close the podcast with a segment called Words of Encouragement. Words of Encouragement is just that, where we say some encouraging words to leave our audience with until the next time we meet. Now, Denzel, I will go first. I will let you think of your words of encouragement, and I'm gonna do a little cleaning up, and just think of it, and then I'm gonna let you take us away. All right. If
Gotcha.
you made it this far into the podcast, go ahead and share it with somebody who may be blessed by the message in this podcast, all right? Share it and tell them to listen to it, okay? Also, Make sure you like the podcast, review the podcast, leave a comment on anything that you want us to talk about in the future. We appreciate you. We love you, and make sure you guys check out Pray, Plan, Execute. You can get a shirt like this. He has a black shirt, and he has the winter wear. He got the winter line coming. He got the fall line leaving. Make sure you don't miss out on these good luxury clothes. All right. Check out PrayPlanExecute.shop and use code FAM at checkout. And yeah, man, like I said, I'm just trying to be a blessing with you. Enjoy that little discount I got for you. All right. My true words of encouragement are um, you have to write it down. Everybody has a goal in their life. Everybody is tracking to something. But for those of you who aren't tracking to anything, you find yourself you'll find yourself in the same position next year that you are today, and we don't want that. What I'm here to encourage people to do is to write it down so that we can actually accomplish these goals. Here we are at the end of another year. If not 2020, we're at the end of 2021, and some of us still haven't scratched off our goals from 2019. Okay, this is unacceptable. It's only because you haven't committed it down through writing it and seeing it every single day. So here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do: get your dry erase marker, write it on your mirror. That way you cannot escape the goal that you're truly trying to accomplish. Because I honestly believe through the goals that we have is how we find our purpose in this life, and it's how we find fulfillment. Okay, so make sure we find a way. We got to write our goals on our mirror so that we can see it every single day and accomplish our goals and become that much better. Now, Denzel,
Mhm.
what are your words of encouragement for the people?
um, my favorite scripture, Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your Father in heaven and glorify your Father which art in heaven.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Um, that is my favorite scripture because you have to remember, regardless of what you're going through, you still have to put a smile on your face. Count it all joy.
Mm,
But at the end of the day, there's always someone who has it worse, but there's always a light at the end of that tunnel. So remember just to count it all joy because at the end, at that light, there's always something bigger and better waiting on you.
that's beautiful. At the at the end of that tunnel, what'd you say? At the end of that tunnel, there's always something beautiful waiting for you. Is that what you said?
Bigger and better at the light.
Big. Whoo! Denzel Boyd, everybody. Denzel, where can the people find you?
Facebook, D Boyd on Facebook.
You can find her D Boyd on Facebook. Check her out. I will link her down below. Denzel, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for sharing your story and spending some time. So incredible.
Appreciate
Yeah, man. And we might have you back, man. Low key, I think I want to have you back with Jimmy. I'm thinking about having you back with Jimmy, just so people can see the dynamic between you. Because like even as you were sharing the story, I was like, yo, I knew you before I knew Jimmy, and I can't imagine either one of y'all without each other at this point. And that's insane to me. Like it's only been a few years, and like in my mind,
right.
it's like it's always been that way. But let me not prolong this. Hey, you guys, thank y'all for checking out the episode again. Make sure you share it with somebody who will like it. Fam's all good over here, and y'all be blessed.